Welcome back. It's 17 away from 9. Thanks very much for joining us on AM this morning. Now, it's a question many people have asked themselves: which investing strategy will make you richer? Time in the market versus timing the market? Well, thanks to our partners at Property Apprentice, financial advisor Debbie Roberts joins us to settle a question that has been debated for decades. Good morning, Debbie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good, thanks.
So timing the market versus time in the market. What are the things you need to consider for both?
I think, first of all, you need to remember that property investing is a long-term strategy. So, I assume that's where the time in the market remark comes from. But there's certainly truth in the saying that timing the market can be quite lucrative. So I've had a look at the peaks and the troughs. And what time after that has effect, on your wealth. So the downturn in the global financial crisis, the peak of the market was 30th of November 2007. Median values in New Zealand were $355,000. Can you believe it? That seems so cheap now, doesn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
So, if you bought a property at the peak of the market and you still owned it today, you'd be laughing, because median values at the moment, $800,000.
Yeah.
And so, that's where the benefit of being in the market for a long period of time comes through. Now, the downturn in the global financial crisis, property values dropped by about 10%. So if you'd waited until the bottom of the market, which was 31st of January, you would have obviously made more money at the time of purchase, because values dropped after the peak of the boom.
But I guess the moral there is that there was no bad time to buy. If you're still going to be in the market now, back then you would say just buy when you can, but there is slightly better, there is an advantage obviously to buy in the trough.
There is, if you've got a crystal ball that's going to tell you when the downturn's coming or when the bottom of the market is. Because, when we're looking at property data, we're looking at historic figures. So we only know that we're at the bottom of the market once we've already gone past that point. And in fact, we need to wait until we're several months past the bottom of the market before we can look back with clarity and go, that was the bottom.
And the other problem is that you can look at those stats, but they don't also tell you about what interest rates are at the time.
Absolutely,
which
and
makes
bank
a big
lending
difference.
criteria as well. Like at the peak of the market, bank lending criteria is usually quite friendly, whereas when values start dropping, bank lending criteria really tightens up. So you might be able to get a mortgage at the peak of the boom, but you might not be able to get a mortgage when the property values have dropped. So it's more about getting lending and purchasing the property that's right for your situation rather than trying to pick the bottom of the market. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're waiting for the bottom of the market, you missed it. It was February last year. So what are you going to do? Wait another decade for that to come round again? It's all about, counter-cyclical investing. So in a downturn, this is what we call the buyer's market. So you've got opportunities to make your money when you purchase, even though you might have missed the absolute bottom.
So what does that mean, particularly counter-cyclical investing?
So Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, so he was talking about the share market, but he talked about how you should be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So that's basically what counter-cyclical investing is. At the moment, people aren't in the property market, but it's a buyer's market. This is a great time to be purchasing, whereas in a booming market, that's when you need to be careful, because all booms come to an end sooner or later.
Thank you very much. That's Debbie Roberts, Property Apprentice owner and financial advisor, and that segment was thanks to our partners at Property Apprentice.